Welcome back to GBGuns. Very exciting to have here a new Bersa, the TPR9C. You're seeing it here first. Let's take a look in the box. Coming up next on GBGuns. Bersa, of course, most well known for their Thunder 380 series. Very easy to operate. Light recoiling 380s, styled very similar to the famous Walther PPK. But they've also had some other guns that just kind of never caught on to the US. Well, they got a revamp, and that's what this TPR9C series is a example of. This is the compact model, and I think it's excellent timing with all of the noise that some of the bigger, more, I don't know what you want to call them, cool in-crowd brands are doing with their subcompacts, because this guy has a lot of neat features that I don't see on those others. So opening the box, of course, I already took the bags off these. We do get two mags, one in the gun and a spare, and the chamber flag that everyone tosses until they go to a range where they have to have a chamber flag and they end up paying $1 for whatever the local one is. Bersa provides it for you. Get the gun out of the way. Underneath the foam here is where we have our manual, as well as some legal advice, join the NRA thing, that, and the key for Bersa's lock system, which you can see right there. You can disable the gun with that key. Let's get the box out of the way and take a closer look at that gun. So of course we're going to start off showing clear. We've got a loaded chamber indicator that is currently down, but we can press check using these front cock serrations to look in and see nothing's there. Empty mag. Does the mag eject or release? That's an ejection. I'm a big fan of that. Anyone who's been watching for a while knows that. Starting off at the front of the gun, we've got a squared off muzzle. A little bit of side-to-side room, not much, but probably enough to keep things reliable. We do have a single rail slot. Cock serrations right up front for doing your press checks. And you notice this texture here on both sides as a memory resting point for your finger. Works for both left and right, which is a good thing because your slide release or lock and your safety decocker are also on both sides of the gun. So about as ambidextrous as it gets, aside from the magazine release. But you know what? I'm sure most of you left-handed folks have already learned you can use your middle finger to eject just fine. I'm actually left-handed. I just shoot right in the videos because most of the guns come that way. We've got serrations on the back. It's kind of a slick top to the slide, but you know, if you're just grabbing, it's fine. No checking on the front of the trigger guard. A nice relief. See that raise there? So you can get your hand on there. Some serrations on the front strap. The grip panels aren't super grippy, but they don't need to be. Just front and rear really that you only put pressure on. And we've got plenty of traction back there. A little bit of a beaver tail, but the hammer doesn't come down any lower than it, so not a concern. And you notice it is a decocker only. So you've got a double action that runs fairly smooth. The single action, we've got take up, a wall, a little bit of movement, brakes all the way at the back. Let's take another look at that double action. It's pretty continuous. No real sense of stacking, and it seems to break about here. Our reset, right there. Not much reset. Takes you right back to the wall. Little movement and it breaks. Not a bad trigger at all. The controls here are nicely contoured along the shape of the frame. And of course you have your color indication for whether or not it's in fire. 3-dot sights. We have the ledge on the front for the tactical racking off of a belt or a table in a one-handed situation. Give an idea of the sight picture. We've got smaller dots in the back and a larger dot up front, exactly as it should be. Nice and tight. I bet this will work for pretty good target shooting. Slide to frame fit is good. And then of course coming on the right side, we've got all the controls that are necessary. External extractor, sharp utilitarian looking gun, Unlike the other subcompacts that are out there, this one is all metal, folks. We got a steel top, aluminum frame, and check that out. The camera will focus, 13 plus 1. So this gives you more capacity. As far as size, I have large hands, and I can fit all my fingers on there thanks to the pinky rest. So this is a functional gun. This is a gun that I can spend range time with and potentially carry. Built more duty-like, more tank-like. Let's take a look inside the gun. We'll do disassembly next. Now, field stripping the TPR9C is a bit simpler than you might be expecting. You don't need to use the slide stop or slide release. If anyone wants to argue about if it's a slide stop or slide release, we can see it's contoured there, right, to be able to push up to lock the slide back easily. However, it's also contoured from the top to work as a release. So in this case, we've got both. So I've got the magazine out, the gun's clear. Don't have to lock it back or anything. We just move this lever down and the slide comes right off. No need to pull the trigger, which is awesome. Taking a look at our frame, we see nice lengthy rails. Very clean, simplistic interior. Everything to the point. The controls are most certainly connected, not like some manufacturers have tried to do. Nice clear mag well. The recoil system, as we can see, is 2 springs, which helps with that progressive rate. Uncaptured, which is great if you want to be able to tune later on for different loads, hotter or softer. And a steel that out. Of course, the barrel drops down and free. Taking a look at our slide. Come on, camera, focus with me. There we go. You can see some milling marks, but nothing obscene. Cleanly done. We also see that the slide is serialized to the frame, which shows purpose-built and not just mass assembly. So if you have trouble finding one of these, maybe that's because the Smiths at Bersa are working on setting a complete set up. There's our barrel. As far as specs and everything, of course, you can check the link in the description below. I don't read charts for y'all. You can read that yourselves. We have a little bit of polishing on the feed ramp. And a nice and clear inside chamber there. As far as chamber fit, as always, we'll be using our nozzler match. Drop that in there, and you can see chamber support all the way around, as well as that slight gap there that lets you see maybe a little bit of glimmer beyond the loaded chamber indicator, which pops up when there's a round in the chamber. So between the ambi controls, 13 plus 1 capacity, decocker, and it being a metal framed, so far this seems like a winner in the latest rage of subcompact or slightly smaller than compact guns. This is a pretty exciting gun to have. I'm looking forward to getting it out to the range. We will, of course, do the What's for Dinner test and run a variety of rounds through it. Look at that long slide or rails. What's for Dinner test and run a bunch of different rounds through it, and then I'll try some grouping with it. With these sights being as clean and clear as they are, as well as being able to get my whole hand on it, I have high hopes for accuracy with this guy, and that decocking ability certainly has me excited for carry possibilities. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Bersa TPR9C in the comments below, and get this out to the range soon. Thanks for watching.